The moment Ethan Quinn saw the little boy teetering on the edge of the playground structure, time seemed to slow. Without a second thought, he lunged forward, arms outstretched, his own son's laughter fading into the background as adrenaline took over. The boy, no more than 5 years old, with a mop of dark curls, tumbled through the air with a startled cry that pierced through the typical Sunday afternoon playground buzz. Ethan caught him with a grunt, the impact sending them both to the ground. He twisted his body mid-fall to absorb most of the shock, the child landing safely against his chest while Ethan's back hit the rubber playground surface with a dull thud. "Gotcha," Ethan breathed, his heart hammering as he quickly assessed the wide-eyed boy in his arms. "You okay, buddy?" The child nodded shakily, his lower lip trembling. "I was trying to be Spider-Man." "Spider-Man, huh?" Ethan sat up, keeping a steadying hand on the boy's shoulder. Even Spider-Man had to practice before he got good at jumping. Maybe start a little lower next time, Noah. A woman's voice called out, urgent and filled with concern. Ethan looked up to see a striking woman hurrying toward them. She wore simple jeans and a cream sweater that somehow looked far more expensive than anything in his closet, her chestnut hair pulled back in a neat ponytail that swung with each quick step. "Mommy, I fell," Noah explained as she reached them, her face etched with worry. "But this man caught me." The woman knelt beside them, pulling her son into a tight hug before her gaze met Ethan's. Her eyes were a warm amber that reminded him of autumn sunlight through whiskey. "Thank you," she said, her voice steadier now but still carrying the remnants of panic. "I turned away for just a second to answer a call, and she shook her head, clearly not wanting to think about what might have happened. Dad reflexes," Ethan replied with a small smile, getting to his feet and brushing off his jeans. "I'm just glad I was close enough, Dad." A little girl with wild strawberry blonde curls, the spitting image of her mother, though Ethan tried not to think about Abby these days, came bounding over. "Did you see me on the monkey bars? I went all the way across." "I did, pumpkin," Ethan said, though they both knew he hadn't. He'd been too busy preventing another child from potentially breaking bones. "That's awesome." "Who's this?" his daughter asked, eyeing Noah with the frank curiosity of a 7-year-old. "This is Noah," and Ethan realized he didn't know the mother's name. "Harper," the woman supplied, offering her hand. "Harper Olsen, and you've already met my daredevil son." "Ethan Quinn," he replied, shaking her hand. Her grip was firm, confident. "And this is my daughter, Lily." "Nice to meet you both," Harper said, her smile softening as she looked at Lily. That was impressive work on the monkey bars. Noah's still working on making it all the way across. "I can show him," Lily offered immediately, always eager to demonstrate her prowess to younger children. Noah perked up at this, seemingly having already forgotten his near accident. "Can I, Mom?" "Please," Harper hesitated, glancing at Ethan as if gauging whether the offer was genuinely welcome. "Lily loves being the teacher," Ethan assured her, "and I'll keep a close eye on them both." "All right," Harper agreed, "but stay on the low bars, Noah. No more Spider-Man impressions today." As the children raced off toward the monkey bars, Lily already launching into detailed instructions, Ethan and Harper fell into step behind them. "Seriously, thank you," Harper said again. "That could have ended badly." "Just happened to be in the right place," Ethan replied. He noticed she wasn't wearing a wedding ring but quickly chided himself for looking. It had been 2 years since Abby left, but he still felt guilty sometimes when he caught himself noticing other women. "You're here alone with your daughter?" Harper asked, seemingly making the same observation about him. "Yeah, it's just us. Has been for a couple of years now." He kept his tone light. "What about you and Noah?" "The same," Harper answered, "though in our case it's always been just the two of us." They reached the monkey bars, where Lily was demonstrating the proper technique for gripping the rungs while Noah watched with rapt attention. "What do you do, Ethan?" Harper asked as they settled onto a nearby bench. "I'm a carpenter," he replied. "I have my own small business, custom furniture mostly." "You?" Something flickered across Harper's face, hesitation, perhaps before she answered. "I work in finance." Before Ethan could ask more, Noah called out, "Mom, look, I'm doing it." They both turned to see Noah hanging from the lowest bar, Lily standing beside him with an encouraging smile. "Now swing your legs," she instructed with the authority of a seasoned teacher. Harper laughed, the sound warm and genuine. He's been trying to do that for weeks. Ethan watched as his daughter continued her impromptu lesson, pride swelling in his chest. She's good with other kids, always has been. They fell into easy conversation as the children played, discovering they both lived in the same part of the city. Harper had moved from Boston just 6 months ago, while Ethan had lived in the neighborhood his entire life. By the time the afternoon shadows lengthened, signaling it was time to head home, Ethan found himself reluctant to end their conversation. "We should probably get going," Harper said, checking her watch, a simple design that nonetheless looked like it cost more than Ethan made in a month. "Noah has school tomorrow and I have an early meeting." "Same here," Ethan said, standing and calling to Lily. "We come here most Sundays, though." Harper smiled, a hint of something hopeful in her expression. "We might see you next week then. Noah had a great time with Lily." "She did too," Ethan replied, surprised by how much he wanted to see Harper again. "Maybe next time we could get coffee while they play." Harper tucked a loose strand of hair behind her ear, her smile widening. "I'd like that." As they said their goodbyes and headed in opposite directions, Ethan couldn't help but glance back. Harper was helping Noah into a sleek black SUV with tinted windows, not what he'd expected for a single mom who worked in finance. But then again, he didn't know much about the finance world. "Dad, I like Noah," Lily declared as they walked to their much more modest sedan. "And his mom seems nice." "Do you like her?" Ethan chuckled, ruffling his daughter's curls. "She does seem nice, Pumpkin, and thanks for helping Noah today." "He's little, but he tries hard," Lily said with the solemn assessment of someone vastly more experienced. "Will we see them again?" "Maybe," Ethan replied, though he found himself hoping the answer was definitely. The following week, Ethan arrived at the playground with Lily and a thermos of coffee, trying not to seem too eager as he scanned the area for Harper and Noah. His heart sank a little when he didn't see them, but Lily quickly dragged him to the swings, demanding he push her as high as the sky. 20 minutes later, as Lily abandoned the swings for the climbing dome, Ethan spotted them. Noah was racing ahead while Harper followed at a more measured pace, looking harried but beautiful in dark jeans and a soft blue sweater. "We thought you might not come," Ethan said when she reached him, immediately regretting how it revealed he'd been waiting. Harper's expression softened. "Sorry we're late, work emergency." She held up a cardboard tray with 2 coffee cups. "I brought reinforcements, though." "You didn't have to do that," Ethan said, even as he accepted the cup she offered. "I wanted to," Harper replied. "Besides, you saved my son from a potentially nasty fall." "The least I can do is buy you coffee." They settled on the same bench as before, watching as Noah found Lily and the two picked up as if no time had passed. "They get along well," Harper observed, taking a sip of her coffee. "Yeah," Ethan agreed. "Lily's always wanted a sibling." "I think she's adopted Noah as her honorary little brother." Something shifted in Harper's expression, a shadow of sadness, perhaps. "Noah asks about siblings sometimes. It's just not in the cards right now." Ethan nodded, understanding all too well the complexities of single parenthood. "It's hard enough managing one sometimes, isn't it?" "Absolutely," Harper agreed with a laugh, "though Noah is worth every challenging moment." "Same with Lily," Ethan said. "After her mom left, there were days I wasn't sure I could handle being both parents, but we figured it out together." Harper turned to him, curiosity in her amber eyes. "What happened? If you don't mind me asking." Ethan took a deep breath. He rarely discussed Abby with anyone, but something about Harper made it feel safe. She decided family life wasn't for her after all. Said she felt trapped, that she'd married too young and missed out on living. Lily was 5. He shrugged, trying to seem more detached than he felt. "She moved to California, sends birthday and Christmas gifts, calls sometimes." "I'm sorry," Harper said softly. "That must have been incredibly difficult." "It was," Ethan admitted. "Still is sometimes. Lily deserves better." He took a sip of coffee, surprised by how easily the words had come. "What about Noah's father?" Harper's fingers tightened around her cup. "He wasn't interested in being a father." "Made that clear before Noah was even born." Ethan frowned. "His loss." "That's what I tell myself," Harper replied, her smile returning. "Noah and I make a good team, just the two of us." Their conversation flowed easily from there, touching on work. Harper was frustratingly vague about her specific role in finance, favorite movies, they both loved old Hitchcock films, and parenting challenges, bedtime battles and vegetable standoffs featured prominently. By the time they reluctantly gathered their children to leave, Ethan felt as if he'd known Harper for years rather than hours. This time, they exchanged phone numbers before parting ways. "Maybe we could meet somewhere besides the playground sometime," Ethan suggested, trying to sound casual. "There's a great pizza place near my workshop the kids might like." Harper's smile lit up her entire face. "That sounds perfect." Over the next few weeks, Ethan found himself looking forward to Sundays with an enthusiasm he hadn't felt in years. Harper and Noah became fixtures in their weekend routine, and soon they were meeting for pizza dinners and trips to the children's museum as well. Each time, Ethan noticed small details that didn't quite align with Harper's supposed middle management finance job. The designer clothes she wore casually, as if unaware of their value. The way restaurant staff sometimes seemed to recognize her, though she never acknowledged it. How she never talked about colleagues or workplace specifics the way most people did. But these inconsistencies paled in comparison to how he felt when he was with her, the easy laughter, the natural way she fit into his and Lily's life, the growing attraction that made his heart race whenever their hands accidentally touched. One evening in early November, after they'd taken the kids to a fall carnival, Harper invited Ethan and Lily back to their home for hot chocolate. Ethan had been curious about where they lived. Harper had always arranged to meet elsewhere, and was surprised when she directed him to one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in the city. "This is where you live?" he asked, trying to keep the surprise from his voice as they pulled up to a security gate. Harper looked uncomfortable for the first time since he'd known her. "Yes," she said simply as she rolled down her window to enter a code. The gates swung open to reveal a long driveway leading to a stunning contemporary home nestled among mature trees. It wasn't ostentatiously large, but every detail screamed quality and thoughtful design. "Wow," Lily exclaimed from the backseat. "Noah, your house looks like a spaceship." Noah giggled. "Mom let me help design my room. It has stars on the ceiling that glow in the dark. Can I see?" Lily asked, already unbuckling her seatbelt as Ethan parked beside Harper's SUV. "After hot chocolate," Harper promised, leading them to the front door. "It's chilly tonight." Inside, the home was warm and inviting despite its modern architecture. Floor-to-ceiling windows showcased the wooded backyard, now illuminated by subtle landscape lighting. The furnishings were clearly expensive but chosen for comfort rather than show. "This is beautiful," Ethan said, taking in the space. His carpenter's eye appreciated the craftsmanship evident in every corner. "Thank you," Harper replied, seeming genuinely pleased by his approval. "I wanted something that felt like a real home, not a showpiece." In the kitchen, a chef's dream with state-of-the-art appliances and warm wood accents, Harper prepared hot chocolate while Ethan helped the children out of their coats. "So finance must be treating you well," Ethan commented, unable to ignore the elephant in the room any longer. Harper paused, her back to him as she stirred the chocolate on the stove. "I should have been more forthcoming," she said quietly. "It's just been nice having someone who doesn't know." "Doesn't know what?" Ethan asked, confused. Harper turned to face him, her expression vulnerable. "I don't just work in finance, Ethan. I run Olsen Capital. It's my company." Ethan blinked, processing this information. Olsen Capital was one of the largest investment firms in the country. He'd seen the name on buildings downtown, read about their acquisitions in the business section of the newspaper. "You own Olsen Capital," he repeated, trying to keep his voice low so the children, now examining a collection of snow globes on a shelf, wouldn't hear. Harper nodded, watching his reaction carefully. "My father started it, but I've been CEO for the last 7 years. After he died, I took over completely." Ethan ran a hand through his hair, suddenly understanding all the little inconsistencies that had nagged at him. "So you're wealthy?" "Yes," Harper finished for him. "But that's not who I am, Ethan. It's just circumstances." Before Ethan could respond, Noah called out, "Mom, is the hot chocolate ready? I want to show Lily my room." Harper's gaze remained on Ethan, uncertainty in her eyes. "Coming right up, sweetheart," she called back, her voice impressively steady. They managed to get through hot chocolate without further discussion, Harper answering Lily's excited questions about the house, while Ethan tried to reconcile this new information with the woman he'd come to know. When the children finally raced upstairs to see Noah's room, Harper turned to Ethan. "Are you angry?" "Angry? No," Ethan said truthfully. "Surprised? Definitely. Maybe a little confused about why you didn't tell me." Harper sighed, cradling her mug between her hands. "When people find out who I am, everything changes. They either want something from me or they're intimidated and pull away. With you, I just wanted to be Harper, Noah's mom, not Harper Olsen, CEO and whatever other labels get attached." Ethan could understand that desire. "I get it," he said slowly, "but you could have trusted me." "I know that now," Harper replied, her eyes meeting his. "The longer I waited, the harder it became to bring up. I was afraid of losing this," she gestured between them, "whatever this is becoming." Ethan reached across the kitchen island, taking her hand in his. "This is two people who enjoy each other's company, two parents whose kids get along great. That hasn't changed." Relief washed over Harper's face. "Really, really," Ethan confirmed. "Though I might need some time to wrap my head around the fact that I've been sharing playground benches with someone who could probably buy the entire park." Harper laughed, the tension breaking. "The company's worth a lot on paper, but I'm not quite that liquid," she teased. "Oh well, in that case," Ethan replied with a grin. Their moment was interrupted by thundering footsteps as the children returned. "Dad," Lily exclaimed, "Noah has a telescope in his room, a real one, and you can see stars and planets and everything." "Mom, can Lily sleep over sometime so we can use the telescope at night?" Noah asked, bouncing on his toes with excitement. Harper glanced at Ethan, raising an eyebrow in question. "That's up to Lily's dad," she said. "Please, Dad," Lily begged, her green eyes wide with hope. "We'll see," Ethan said, the standard parent response that could mean anything from absolutely not to definitely yes, depending on the circumstances. Later, as they prepared to leave, Harper walked them to the door. "I'm sorry again for not being honest from the beginning," she said quietly while the kids said their goodbyes. "I understand why you weren't," Ethan replied, "and for what it's worth, I still see you as just Harper, Noah's mom. The rest is details." Harper's smile was worth every word. "Thank you for that, and thank you for catching my son that day." "Best reflex reaction I've ever had," Ethan said, suddenly bold enough to lean in and kiss her cheek. "I'll call you tomorrow. I'd like that," Harper replied, a blush coloring her cheeks. The revelation about Harper's true circumstances didn't change their growing relationship as much as Ethan had feared it might. If anything, Harper seemed more relaxed now that her secret was out, more willing to share details about her life and work. Ethan occasionally felt twinges of insecurity. How could he possibly measure up to the world she inhabited? But Harper quickly dispelled them with her genuine interest in his craftsmanship and her clear enjoyment of their simple outings. As Thanksgiving approached, Harper invited Ethan and Lily to join her and Noah for the holiday. "Nothing fancy," she promised. "Just the four of us." Ethan accepted, touched by the invitation and the implication that they were becoming something like a family unit. The day before Thanksgiving, Ethan was working in his workshop on a custom dining table when his phone rang. It was Harper, sounding uncharacteristically stressed. "I hate to ask this," she said without preamble, "but our housekeeper is out sick. I have back-to-back video conferences until 6, and Noah's school just called. He has a fever and needs to be picked up. Is there any way? Text me the address and any pickup procedures," Ethan cut in. "I'll get him right now." The relief in Harper's voice was palpable. "You're sure? I know you're working." "Harper, it's fine," Ethan assured her. "I'm self-employed for a reason. Flexibility is part of the package." 40 minutes later, Ethan was guiding a pale, subdued Noah into Harper's home. "Let's get you settled on the couch, buddy," he said, noting how the normally energetic boy was dragging his feet. "My throat hurts," Noah complained, leaning against Ethan's side. "I bet it does," Ethan sympathized, helping him onto the large sectional in the family room. "Your mom said there's medicine in the kitchen. Let me get that for you." He found the children's fever reducer exactly where Harper had said it would be, along with a note taped to the cabinet. "Thank you. Meeting room down the hall if you need me." After giving Noah the medicine and setting him up with a blanket and his favorite stuffed dinosaur, Ethan moved quietly through the house. He passed the partly open door of what was clearly Harper's home office and heard her speaking confidently about market projections and quarterly targets. There was something deeply intimate about being trusted with her son and her home like this, Ethan realized. He returned to Noah, finding the boy half asleep already. "Will you stay until I fall asleep?" Noah asked, his voice small and raspy. "Of course," Ethan replied, settling beside him on the couch. "I'm not going anywhere." Noah was fully asleep within minutes, his breathing even despite the slight congestion. Ethan carefully extricated himself and went to the kitchen to prepare some soup for when the boy woke up. He was chopping vegetables when he heard Harper's voice behind him. "You're making soup." Ethan turned to find her watching him with an expression that made his heart skip. "Chicken noodle," he confirmed. "My mom's recipe. It's the only thing Lily will eat when she's sick." "You didn't have to do that," Harper said, moving closer. "I wanted to," Ethan replied simply. "Noah's asleep on the couch. His fever's down a bit, but he's definitely sick." Harper sighed, leaning against the counter. "So much for Thanksgiving. He'll probably still be sick tomorrow." "We can reschedule," Ethan assured her, "or we could still do it, just keep it low-key. Lily and I can come over, help take care of him, watch movies." "You do that?" Harper asked, surprise evident in her voice. "Spend your holiday taking care of a sick kid." "Of course," Ethan said, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. "That's what." He paused, suddenly unsure how to define what they were to each other. "What families do," Harper finished softly, her eyes searching his. "Yeah," Ethan agreed, his heart racing. "That's what I was thinking." Harper closed the distance between them, reaching up to touch his face. "I think I'm falling in love with you, Ethan Quinn." The simple honesty of her declaration took his breath away. "Good," he managed after a moment, "because I'm already there." Their first kiss was gentle, tentative, but filled with promise. When they pulled apart, Harper was smiling despite the tears in her eyes. "This isn't how I planned to tell you," she admitted with a watery laugh. "I don't know," Ethan teased, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "There's something to be said for kitchen confessions while making soup for sick kids." Harper laughed again, the sound brightening the room. "You're right. It's perfect." Thanksgiving turned out nothing like they'd planned, but somehow better. Noah spent most of the day on the couch, but his spirits improved with Lily there to entertain him with card games and stories. Harper and Ethan prepared a simplified meal together, moving around her kitchen in comfortable synchronicity, as if they'd been doing it for years. As they sat down to eat, Noah with his bowl of soup, the rest of them with turkey and trimmings, Ethan looked around the table and felt a sense of rightness that had been missing from his life for too long. "What are you smiling about?" Harper asked, catching his expression. "Just grateful," Ethan replied, reaching for her hand. For Spider-Man impressions and playground accidents, Harper squeezed his hand, understanding perfectly. So am I. By Christmas, the four of them had fallen into a rhythm that felt as natural as breathing. Ethan and Lily spent most weekends at Harper's home, and Harper had even commissioned a custom entertainment center from Ethan's workshop. "Because I believe in your talent," she'd insisted when he'd protested that she didn't need to hire him. On Christmas Eve, after the children had finally gone to sleep, Noah in his room, Lily in the guest room that had gradually accumulated her belongings, Harper and Ethan sat beside the fire, admiring the towering tree they'd decorated together. "I have something for you," Harper said, reaching into the pocket of her cardigan. "I wasn't sure whether to wait until tomorrow, but..." She handed him a small velvet box that made Ethan's eyebrows rise. Inside was a key. "It's to the front door," Harper explained. "I want you to have it. You and Lily, I want you here all the time." Ethan closed his fingers around the key, emotion welling in his chest. "Are you asking us to move in?" "I'm asking for more than that," Harper replied, her voice steady despite the vulnerability in her eyes. "I'm asking if you can see a future where the four of us are a family. Where Noah has a father who catches him when he falls, and where I have someone who loves me for who I am, not what I own." Ethan set the box aside and took both her hands in his. I've been seeing that future since the day we met, he said honestly. I don't care about your company or your house or any of it. I just want you, Harper, you and Noah. Tears spilled down Harper's cheeks as she smiled. That's good, she whispered, because that's all I'm offering, just us. Ethan pulled her into his arms, sealing their understanding with a kiss that felt like coming home. When they separated, he rested his forehead against hers. Merry Christmas, Harper. Merry Christmas, Ethan, she replied, her smile radiant in the firelight. They were awakened early the next morning by excited children jumping on their bed, a sight that made Ethan's heart swell with joy. As they made their way downstairs, Noah slipping his small hand into Ethan's while Lily chatted animatedly with Harper about what Santa might have brought, Ethan caught Harper's eye over the children's heads. The love he saw there confirmed what he already knew. Sometimes the greatest gifts come in the most unexpected moments. Like a split-second decision to catch a falling child, not knowing it would lead to catching his mother's heart as well. 1 year later, they made it official, exchanging vows in the backyard of the home they now shared. Lily, serving as flower girl, and Noah as ring bearer, took their duties with utmost seriousness until the moment they spotted a butterfly during the ceremony and dissolved into giggles. Their family grew again the following spring with the arrival of twins, a boy and a girl, who had Ethan's dimples and Harper's amber eyes. Noah proved to be an enthusiastic big brother, while Lily appointed herself official twin expert, solemnly explaining to anyone who would listen that she'd been helping her dad take care of babies practically forever. Ethan's carpentry business flourished, aided in part by Harper's connections, but primarily due to his exceptional craftsmanship. He insisted on maintaining his workshop and his professional independence, a boundary Harper respected and admired. For her part, Harper continued running Olsen Capital with the same dedication, but with a newfound balance that allowed her to be present for school events and family dinners. She often joked that meeting Ethan had been the best business decision she'd ever made, as her happiness made her a more effective leader. On quiet evenings, after the children were in bed, they would sometimes reminisce about that fateful Sunday in the park, how close they had come to never meeting, how different their lives might have been. Do you ever regret it? Harper asked once, curled against Ethan's side on the porch swing he'd built as an anniversary gift. Getting involved with someone from such a different world, Ethan considered this, his fingers absently tracing patterns on her arm. No, he said finally. Because we're not from different worlds, Harper, not where it counts. And where's that? She asked, tilting her face up to his. Here, Ethan replied, placing his hand over her heart. We've always been the same where it matters most. Harper smiled, settling more comfortably against him as they watched fireflies dance in the summer twilight. I'm so glad you caught him, she whispered. So am I, Ethan agreed, pressing a kiss to her temple. So am I.